Hi, everyone. I'm your host, Dr. Terry Haddad, Vice President of Community Initiatives at Community Services for Children. Welcome to the Parent Project Podcast. This work stems from our vision for an engaged community where every child thrives and every family succeeds. CSC has been serving families for over 50 years, and we know that parenting can be hard. We're inviting local doctors, teachers, counselors, social workers, and other experts to provide perspectives to help parents maneuver the sometimes challenging role of parenting. Hi, I'm delighted to welcome Crystal Perez from the Allentown School District today. Thanks for coming, Crystal.
Hi, Terry. Thank you so much for having me today.
Oh, we're thrilled to have you here. Let me tell you a little bit about the very special Crystal Perez. She is the Assistant Director of Health Services with the Allentown School District, and she is deeply committed to promoting health and wellness in the Allentown community. She's initiated one of Pennsylvania's first school-based immunization programs, which allows nurses to provide school-required vaccines at school during the school day. Fabulous. She was recognized as the 2023 Pennsylvania Immunization Champion for Innovation and awarded the 2023 Association of Immunization Managers and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention Immunization Champion Award. Her mission is to protect student health, promote academic success, and preserve community relationships. She's not only a fabulous nurse, but a delightful person. So, Crystal, today you're going to talk about childhood obesity. So tell us about that.
Thank you, Terry. So childhood obesity is considered one of the most serious public health challenges of the 21st century. In fact, it's considered to be an epidemic. This is largely because of chronic health complications that can occur from being overweight. According to the World Health Organization, childhood obesity is associated with long-term obesity, disability into adulthood, and even premature death. The United States has one of the highest childhood obesity rates in the world. Current statistics reflect that 1 out of 3 U.S. children are overweight and 1 out of 6 U.S. children are obese. According to a report from Harvard School of Public Health, childhood obesity rates have tripled in the U.S. over the past 3 decades.
Oh my goodness, Crystal. 1 out of 3 U.S. children is overweight and obesity rates have tripled. Why don't you tell us how we define childhood obesity, but then how on earth did this happen?
Sure. The CDC and the World Health Organizations both define being overweight as having a BMI at or above the 85th percentile for a person's age, gender, and height. And then obesity as a BMI at or above the 95th percentile for someone's age, gender, and height. So how did we get here? Trends like easy access to and affordability of high-calorie fast food, busy lifestyles and not having time to cook at home, increased portion sizes of our meals, increased intake of sugary beverages, as well as sedentary lifestyles, which means that as a society, we're sitting more and participating in less activity. And then when we look at children, especially in children, increased screen time, electronic devices such as televisions, tablets, smartphones, and video games has led to a decrease in physical activity, as well as a disruption in the child's sleep-wake cycle, depression of the metabolic rate, and poor eating patterns.
My goodness, when you put it like that, there's a lot happening. And I would imagine with the pandemic, we were even more sedentary and more inside. So why does this matter? I mean, obviously there's physical complications, but why does this matter?
Sure. Yeah. Like you said, there are physical complications and they're extensive, but there's also psychological complications as well. So affecting mental health issues. We'll start with the physical complications. So some of the biggest ones are type 2 diabetes. And this is when a person's body cannot produce enough insulin or it becomes resistant to insulin to process all the sugar that's eaten. So the more excess weight a person has, the more resistant their muscles and tissue cells become to their own insulin hormone. And then we look at breathing problems like asthma and sleep apnea. And sleep apnea is basically pauses in someone's breathing while they're sleeping. And breathing issues are due largely to an excess of fat deposits in the upper respiratory tract. We also see extensive cardiovascular complications, including heart disease, heart attacks, high cholesterol, and high blood pressure, as well as liver disease due to higher fat content in the foods. What's really shocking is the National Cancer Institute has attributed 13 cancers caused by obesity. And then we look at obesity also is known to impair the immune system response, which leads to increased illness. So all of these complications can lead to children being sick, which leads to poor attendance at school, which then leads to poor academic performance and outcomes. So those are just the physical complications that we see. But like I said, it also affects psychosocial issues as well, such as low self-esteem, shame about body and body image issues, lack of self-confidence, which can all lead to higher risks of bullying for these children. And that is also known to lead to poor academic performance at school.
So, Crystal, there's a range of complications that you mentioned, but how do I know as a mother if my child is a little overweight or we've got a problem?
Sure. So every school year, nurses in all of Pennsylvania have to perform height and weight screenings on all students. So these screenings then reveal what a student's BMI or their body mass index number is. So I can share some of the data from the Allentown School District for the 2022-2023 school year. In our kindergarten through sixth grade students, 16% of students were overweight, which again means having a BMI between 85 and 95%, and 27% of kindergarten through sixth grade students were obese, meaning they had a BMI greater than 95%. So in total, this means that for the entire kindergarten through sixth grade population, 43% of students were at an unhealthy BMI. We see similar trends in our older secondary students. So in 7th to 12th grade students, 18% were overweight and 27% were obese. So a total of 45% of students in grades 7 through 12 are at an unhealthy BMI. And research shows that these early trends will continue well into adulthood and beyond.
Wow, really, that's quite shocking. And it seems that parents of young children have a real opportunity to set the stage right from the beginning. So how can parents combat this and from the very beginning ensure that their kids are at the right weight?
Right. The good news is there are things parents can do to prevent this. And it really comes down to two main areas. So healthy eating habits, as well as increasing physical activity, right? So I'll start with some of the healthy eating habits. Research consistently shows that parents can take several steps to encourage healthy eating habits in their children. Parents and guardians need to be role models for their children by choosing healthy foods themselves. Children look up to the adults that they spend time with, and developmentally, they mirror what they see the adults in their life doing. So it's really important for them to see the adults they spend time with eating healthy and making healthy choices. For new moms, breastfeeding for the first year of life has been inversely correlated with obesity. Families should also prioritize sitting down together for family meals. Meals that happen on the go tend to be much higher in fat, sodium, cholesterol, and sugar than meals that are prepared at home. Involving children in the whole meal process from the start, right? Grocery shopping and food selection, all the way down to preparing the meals as is age appropriate. Studies show that children are more likely to eat healthy foods when they're involved in choosing and then preparing them. Parents can also make healthy food choices the easy choice. So having things prepared ahead of time so that they're easy to grab when those hunger pains strike, and storing healthy foods at children's eye levels in the pantry and refrigerator so that they can grab things on their own. One of the big things we can be aware of, too, is what we consider hidden sources of sugar in our food. So we know things like candy and cookies are high in sugar, but there's a lot of what we would call hidden sugars in kids' foods, like sugary beverages, the juices. This can easily consume a large portion of children's calories throughout the day. Sugar can also be found in a lot of common kid snacks like fruit snacks, granola bars, cereals, and yogurts, right? So these are the things that kids routinely snack on. Limiting the sugar can help decrease weight, as well as it promotes dental health as well, which is an important step to limiting tooth decay and cavities.
Crystal, I know you have a son. So, what kinds of snacks are in your cabinet that are healthy, that are low sugar? I think people might hear this and think, well, the kids want fruit snacks, granola bars, yogurt. So, what do you give your boy?
Sure. So fruits, right? Fruits are good sugars, the sugars that we want to promote. So fresh fruits being available, choices like pretzels or popcorn, those are also really good choices. So again, it's never to say that we can't ever have these foods, but we want to practice control. And these are once in a while foods where we choose the fruit or the pretzels or the popcorn more often than not.
Excellent. Okay, so we know we should all move more. So tell us about how frequently or how do you get young children moving more?
Yeah, well, the good news is young children have a lot of energy and they like to move. They want to move. And so physical activity is really important, not only to burn calories, but it also improves attention span and focus, which is attributed to learning and improved academic success. The CDC recommends that children, actually everyone, has at least 60 minutes or more of physical activity every day. And there's lots of ways that parents can incorporate movement for their children. Right? So start early. Young children love to play and be active, so encouraging lots of safe and unstructured movement throughout the day. Setting a positive example by being active yourself as a parent or guardian. And do activity together, taking family walks after meals, playing outside together, taking the family pet for a walk, taking children to areas that encourage movement like public parks or baseball fields or local basketball courts. Anything that you can make fun and do together as a family promotes activity. But just remember to be safe when you're promoting activities and provide the proper protective equipment, such as helmets and wrist pads and knee pads for activities like riding bicycles, scooters, or skateboarding.
Wonderful. Well, Crystal, you've given us a whole bunch of tips on how to make healthier choices with food and kind of what to do on the physical education side. So, in closing, give us your really from the heart, why is it so very important for parents of young children to really make healthy weight and healthy eating a priority?
Yeah, so we can change this. There are active steps that we can take to prevent childhood obesity. And I think that's the really exciting piece. This doesn't have to be the trend that sticks for our kids. We can encourage healthy eating, we can encourage activity, and a lot of the diseases that I mentioned are then preventable. So we want to give our kids the right start.
Thank you so much for joining us, Crystal. We hope you have a wonderful rest of the school year, and we hope that you'll come back and see us again soon.
Thank you so much, Terry.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for listening. To learn more about the Parenting Project podcast, Project Child, or Community Services for Children, please visit cscinc.org.